The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Sciforror Film Podcast. I'm Andy Walker, and as always, I'm here with my son Scott. Hello, Scott.
Hello.
Hello, and how are you?
I'm okay.
Good.
Do you know what? I've realised that I'm getting old,
Right.
and not just because I'm getting old, but or older. It's because of the fact that I never once, when I was in my younger days, cared about the weather.
Right.
Obviously, I did when it rained and stuff like that, but I never sat there and gone, "Oh, it's too cold." And now it got to the point where I sat there the other day and I was like, "It's freezing." I'm really looking forward to the day where it warmed up.
Yeah.
And I sat there like, and then me and Amy were then talking, and she went, "But you don't moan when it's hot."
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just the joys of being English. But I was just like, no, it's I've realised that I sat there the other day and I was like, I was outside for about 10 minutes and it was freezing cold and I walked back in. I was like, and how long it took me to warm up.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Don't. You know, I'm twice your age.
In fact, I'd permanently lived in a hoodie with my jumpers on like the last couple of days.
I'm having to wear two layers almost all the time now. I wear a t-shirt underneath my t-shirt.
Yeah, well, I've got at the moment. I've got a t-shirt, two t-shirts on, a hoodie. I've got two pairs of shorts on and a pair of tracksuit bottoms.
Well, I normally wear. I bought myself 3 white t-shirts that I wear underneath whatever else I'm wearing. I wear them as vests almost. Terrible. There you go.
How are you anyway?
Comes to us all in the end. Right. So this week we have watched 2 films, 2 sort of featurey films. The first one was we were contacted by our friends the Aguilars at Strange Films.
Sorry.
No, it's strange when you say it like that. But, Strange Films, anyway.
Yes.
And we've done some of their films before, some of the short films before, and we interviewed them long ways back. But we have been in touch with them, and I did a bit of work for them last year. And this is a film by them, which isn't actually available to the public yet. Will be later this year.
No, I think as of recording this, they've just put up their trailer for it.
Yeah, they've put the trailer up.
Yeah.
But the actual film won't be available until I think it's around April, May time, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a film called The Gifted. Now, the star of this film is Ginger Lynn, who was in The Devil's Rejects and 31.
Yes.
Some people will know her from there. This is a film about a woman with strange powers, which aren't actually that well defined by the film, but are obviously of a nature that is such that they can allow her to control people and people's actions,
thoughts
and actions, and that sort of thing. And it's about what she does with them and how she deals with them and that sort of thing. It's an interesting film, and I think the central idea is excellent. I think it's a really good film. I think I think that it's a well-made film, well written.
Yeah.
The acting is, on the most part, really good.
Yep.
There's a few of the effects I thought were a little bit less than great, but on the whole, the effects work well. For the budget they had, I think it works well, but it's done really well. I think it suffers a little bit from having not had a great budget.
Yeah.
I
I agree. If and no this is not taken away from anything that Stranger Films done. Like we've seen their films before, and they do some amazing work. We've seen
Yeah,
like we've we've spoken to them quite a bit. We've watched some of their stuff. We've both this and privately we've watched their stuff, and it's they've got an amazing crew, like amazing team. But I think the fact that there wasn't a massive feature length budget that they had,
yeah.
I think is a fit. I'm not saying it's like it's bad, but just if it had, I think the funding that most features have, even really bad B movies have got quite a good
This, I
quite
mean,
a bit of funding.
I think, I mean, this was basically crowdfunded. It was like
Yeah,
they had a, I think it was a GoFundMe page or something like that up, and that's where they got a lot of the budget from, that sort of thing. And yeah, they're not taking away anything from the guys. They make great films, and this
yeah.
isn't a bad film.
No, it's not. It's an amazing film. It's a very. I will say it's a very confusing film if you miss like if you even if you sort of not paying attention for like 10 seconds, it can be a
Yeah,
bit confusing. So it is one you've got to watch and got to pay attention to. But like you said, the acting's it's okay in a lot all the way through it. The camera work and cinematography was amazing. Yeah, I agree with the makeup and sort of visual effects. I think was the point with it where the money could have been helped out a bit.
there was a
But
couple of
the whole idea and the writing and the premise behind it, it's an amazing film. It's just having to do a film even on a GoFundMe budget, and even if it gets the money, it's then making sure that if you've only got that money,
yeah.
you can't then go, oh, we can spend a couple of extra bit, like we can spend a little bit extra on on this because we've got the money. But if they've got that and then have to use it on one bit, sorry, they've got to take it away from something else, and
Yeah.
then things start affecting it. And I think they've done an amazing film with what they had.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I think with with what they had, I think they have made a really good film, and but I just think it's a pity almost that they didn't have a bit more money to just
Yeah,
kind of tidy a few bits of it up.
yeah,
Um,
it's
I
definitely one. I think if they had almost an excess of budget, like had a little bit left over, then they've been able to go, we can redo this, we can do this,
yeah,
and
yeah,
but having that sort of having a tight budget, you've got to make things work. And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd still really like to see what they could do with a decent budget, because
oh yes,
if this had had a bit more money put into it, which obviously is not their fault, but if a
no,
bit more money put into it, it could have been a really excellent movie. As it is, it's good,
yeah.
but you
It's
know,
so if it had like this is obviously like we said, this is crowdfunded with their their money as well. But if they'd had like a proper studio budget,
yeah,
where a studio had gone to them, look, we'll pay for it. Do you want? Here's the money.
yeah.
I would love to see what they could do, and
I
where
mean,
they could take films.
I think their ideas and their stories are really great. They 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 do really well with short films. They put them across really well with short films, and the having a short film budget, a decent budget for a short film, they can make some excellent stuff.
Yeah,
This was good, but I think it needed it may have been better if they'd have made it a shorter film and put more money into.
yeah.
I don't know. It's difficult to
It's
say.
yeah. It's really hard to say because I'm trying not to make it sound like it's a bad film or breaking digs at it or give it too
Yeah,
much criticism because it's not. It's an amazing film, but if things had been like if they'd had more budget, if they'd even if they'd had a little bit more time, because I know they've been trying to put this out by a certain time.
yeah.
So it's having that being confined to that frame that they've got. It does mean that things suffer, and but we know the fact that they can make some amazing films.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm hoping that one day someone will pick them up, like a
Well,
big company, and go, "We'll fund it."
I'm hoping that because they've been able to do this and put it out, and they've been able to get somebody like Ginger Lynn in it, who's got a
Yeah,
name in horror films. They may get more notice from film companies and from other
Yeah,
people for their funding. And
yeah.
I really want to
Especially
see
the
what
fact
they
that,
can do.
especially with the fact that they write their films themselves. It's not like it's outsourced by someone else. It's their ideas. They're putting their films onto into the public. Basically, it's not
Yeah,
that they've got someone else to script it and they've done. Right, I'll write it and they're putting it out through their production. Or it's their films. It's their
yeah,
ideas, and with all of their films, even with stuff that we've sat there and watched and gone, it's giving me that sort of like it's reminding me of that film or that film.
mm,
It's their ideas, their unique take on everything, and even
yeah,
with
yeah,
this, it's the whole. I want to say sort of witchcraft sort of feel to it. The whole
yeah,
with the whole sort of power thing that's unexplained, but it's their premise, their way of doing it.
yeah, yeah.
And I understand. I do agree with if they had a. I don't want to say limitless budget because then it's things start getting ridiculous. But if they'd had a feature length budget, one that's a proper studio can go, we can give you X amount of money for this.
Yeah, yeah.
What can you do?
Well, I
I
mean,
think they would make an amazing film.
I've got to say, I mean, we watched this and yesterday, and don't ask me why I did this. I don't know. Last night I watched a film on YouTube which is called Metal Tornado.
Okay.
It's a science fiction sort of thing ish with Lou Diamond Phillips in it. Now Lou Diamond Phillips has got quite a big name, you know, that kind of thing. And this obviously had a bit of money thrown at it, but to be honest, it was really quite awful.
Yeah. So
And
this is the thing. There's the fact
it's
that,
just what I'm going to say is, you know, even that had they do some company have put money into this, and
yeah.
it wasn't that great.
No.
Whereas if you know the Gifted is a better movie than that.
Yeah. Oh, this is
And
the thing. This is the thing. Is the fact that we've as much as we're saying yeah a bit of extra funding and go and help. We've sat here and done on this podcast before the fact that you can have big budget films, big budget movie, like big budgets put into a film, and it still be goddamn awful.
oh,
Like
absolutely,
we've sat there and reviewed films and even watched films privately that we've gone. This has had a lot of money put into it, and it's
yeah.
awful.
And you can have big name stars and directors, and it still be an awful film.
Yeah, so it just proves the fact that how good of a filmmakers these are. The fact that
Absolutely,
even on a tight budget and trying to make a feature length film, they still made one that is way out of the leagues of other feature
it's
lengths.
good. It's a good film. It's you know it's really worth watching, and it's a really good film.
Yes.
Okay, the second film that we are reviewing is a sci-fi thriller from last year, from 2023, called The Mill. This is on Disney Plus at the moment.
Yeah, it's on
Um,
Disney Plus and Hulu, and I think it's around on a few other streaming services, but I'm not too sure what.
okay, the director is was Sean King O'Grady, the writer Jeffrey David Thomas, and the star is Lil Rel Howery.
Yes.
Didn't know anything about this film, to be honest. I'd never heard of it until you mentioned it to me.
Oh, this is the thing that I. Well, this is this the fact that I see this the trailer for this on come up on Disney. I was having a look through, and I was like, and I see this advertised, and I was like, then even the trailer, there's not a lot of explanation to it.
No.
So I thought, oh, okay, this is a. And then when it was released, I sat and watched it, and I was like, oh my god, this is a film that I needed to tell you about. And
Okay.
when you asked me about a film that we needed to do, like if I knew any films that for this, I thought, do you know what, this is the prime opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm saying, I said, suggested it. I did think, I did wonder what you were going to think of it.
I really like it.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, we'll go through the technical stuff. It's great cinematography. The sets are excellent. The effects are really good. It's done really well. Um, it's interesting because when I started watching it,
yeah.
I thought that it was going to be a bit like Saw or one of
Yes.
those sort of things.
Yeah.
Um, but it completely changed very quickly.
Yeah.
There's a few plot details that didn't work for me, like mainly the bit about him digging a hole through the wall.
Yeah.
and uh, that sort of thing. There were a couple of bits like that didn't work for me, but it was very well done and very well paced, and I really quite enjoyed it. Um, the other thing for me was the end section. I found was a bit flat. It
Oh,
did
what when he's back in the office?
when he's back in the office. It didn't quite have the same kind of, but I kind of wasn't as engaged with that as I had been before.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. Like we were saying, is the fact that they can have a you can have a big budget for a film and they can still flop on certain things. And
Yeah,
I totally agree with you. I was the same. Is the fact that the bit when he was supposedly when he was doing the work, I thought was amazing. I thought the whole premise behind it, the set design, the technology, the whole idea behind it was amazing.
yeah,
And some of the tech that they used and all that. And then when it come back to that bit, I was like, it's the whole it's a dream sort of thing. And I'm like, that's just let it down. And it's
yeah.
really annoying. And but I will say for Little Rail Harry is it shocks me because of the fact that I've seen him in a couple of other films.
Okay.
He's in Get Out and a few other things,
Mm,
but I know him as a comedian,
mm,
and is seeing him in horror films. I keep expecting it to be like the whole he's going to be the comedy effect, but seeing him in this as a quite serious thing, and also to what the some of the ideas and some of the things that were pointed out in it, and the comments that were made, and I
yeah.
think the messages behind in it, I think was very well done and very well acted out by him.
Oh, definitely. No, I mean he plays that part incredibly well, you can really you really kind of get behind him. It's sort of like you feel for him. You can feel what's
Yeah,
going on. It is very well made. It's a really good film. I really enjoyed watching it, which is a strange thing to say considering the fact that it's about sort of like the sort of suffering that people have.
yeah, it's all about sort of work suffering and almost
Yeah,
to a point, sort of. I don't know whether it is, but it's all, for I took it as almost a sort of work slavery sort of film.
yeah. Well,
But it's
that was an interesting thing for me was the fact that I wonder if it would have felt like a very different film if he'd been white.
I was, to be honest, I was thinking the same thing whether or not if he'd been, to be honest, if he had been any different race, if he had been, even I suppose to a certain extent, from a different country as well,
Yeah,
even if he was still a colored person, but say from if he'd been from like if he had like fully African, or if he was English, or if he was Chinese, you know what I mean? If he
yeah,
was that instead of it being American and the slavery bit of that, I think
yeah,
not he would have had a different feel to it. But again,
yeah.
it's a lot. There's a lot of good points in this, but again, I think the ending for me let it down.
Mm. I think the other thing was the fact that once again, it's a thing Americans seem to have about making movies. They like to have a film with an open ending,
Yeah,
and it's like I don't know if they're going to make a sequel to this, but if they do, it's going to have to be a completely different type of film because
yeah,
you couldn't make a sequel to this that's the same type of film because it just wouldn't. I don't know how they would do that.
no, it's it's and I think that's the bit I sort of liked when the whole when he realised that it was a. So I'm trying not to say too much because obviously it's only just come out. But
Yeah,
when he realised what was going on, and then they pulled it out, I was like, okay, yeah, maybe this is a bit of a training exercise sort of thing. I get that. And then with the last section where I suppose he's the era he turns around and says he's going to fight back, I said, like, how? How are you going to do that without making this obscenely ridiculous?
yeah, yeah.
And
I think if they made a sequel that was about him fighting back or going back at it, it would be such a different film that it wouldn't work as well.
fighting robots.
It just wouldn't work as well.
No, but this is the whole I like about this is the fact that there is the bits of it is the fact that we are getting into that age as well where technology can control a lot of things,
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
the fact that we rely a lot on technology. for
Yeah,
anything, and when it goes wrong, especially for a younger generation, and I know this is going to sound very hypocritical of me as I'm only 32, but even my generation and younger, when technology goes wrong, it's almost that panic of we don't know what to do.
yeah, yeah.
And
No,
this film shows that it's the fact that when the technology basically fights back,
yeah.
everything sort of shuts down and no one knows what to do and panics.
It's. I mean, it's. I mean, I can see. We got the rise of AI, and a lot of people are concerned about that,
Yeah,
and that sort of thing. And I kind of get they kind of address that in a bit in this. I just think it's. I think the problem nowadays is that a lot of the time when films are released, people look at, can we make this into a franchise?
yeah.
Can we make 15 films that will follow on from this and
And,
sell lots of merchandise from it and all that kind of thing? And I think that we need to get away from that. We need to get back to making a film. And if the
yeah.
film's really good and there's a possibility of making a sequel, then make the sequel. Don't go into it with the idea of we're going to make 5 films out of this, and then
Mm.
by the time you get to the end of the second one, everyone's run out of ideas.
Yeah, see, I think if they'd taken that the last, I suppose the line that he looked at the camera and says,
Mm,
I think if they'd taken that bit out,
yeah,
it still would have left it open ended if they wanted to take it on and carry. But it would have made it tied up enough for people to go, fine, that's a good film.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
think that
mm,
line at the end just sort of goes, well, they're obviously trying to make it, like you said, into a franchise. It's going to go ridiculous, and it's going to get. And I think I agree with you. It's just people are not making films anymore just for making films. They're trying to make franchises, and
yeah,
if you're doing that with a film, you can't. You need to make a film, film by film.
yeah,
You can't
absolutely.
make it a film, like a franchise by film. Doesn't work. So if you make a film and then people like it, and you can make another one and another one, then do that. But don't make a film on the premise that you're going to go, yeah, we're going to make 10 after this.
Yeah,
Then the first one could be a flop, and you're going to be there and go, well, what are we going to do now?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Oh well. Anyway, there you go. So we've got 2 feature films there. I will put links up to what I can when I can, all that sort of thing. Mainly, I mean, at the moment, I think it's just going to be trailers for them. But
Yeah.
at some point, we may be able to put the full link up for The Gifted, depending
Yeah,
on
we
actually.
will. I'm sure we'll keep you updated if, well, obviously if anyone's listening, but more if when we know that it's out and
Yeah.
when it's actually out to the public, we can then say, by the way, or they will put it out somewhere. But it's a good film to keep an eye out for.
Right, so yeah, so we've got The Gifted from Strange Films, which should be released somewhere around April, May, I think. And then we've got The Mill, which is at the moment on Disney Plus and
Hulu.
Hulu, and maybe available other places. There you go. Um, Next episode, I think next episode we may be doing um what seemed to be an annual thing nowadays of over the last couple of years. Maybe we'll do a deformed lunchbox special again,
Yeah.
because we've
Well,
got six.
it might have been funny. As much as this is probably not going to, not I want to take away from the other people with us, but the film lunchbox seems to be popping out filmed left, right, and centre,
Yeah, they've got
and it doesn't seem to be any slow down for them.
well,
And
they've got 6 short films that they've gone up since the last time we did anything on them,
it weren't even that long ago.
which was it was when we did the thing about Serial Man.
Yeah.
I don't know what the update on that is. I will have to see if I
No,
can
we
find out.
might have to see if we can get hold of them or talk to them
Absolutely.
or something about it.
Um,
Yeah, it's not just even their films they've put up a few other films of
no.
people that helped put out as well. So they've got their own films and other people that they're bringing out, and
Yeah.
they seem to be never ending. And it's just amazing.
Yeah, so we'll have a look at their new 6 short films next time. Also, for anybody that would like to know, I'd still believe tickets are still on sale for the Romford Horror Film Festival, which is on from the 29th, I think it is, of um March to no, yes, 29th of March to the 3rd of March. So that's in Romford. Look it up. I'll put a link up for that. So we will have a report back from there as we do every year. Looking forward to that very much. And
especially looking forward to. I was just saying, if they're going to have as good a film as they had than their last year, it's going to be a good weekend.
yeah, well, they've got 2 screens that they're showing films all weekend on, and then there will be a third screen where they will be doing interviews and with people who make the films, and also with special guests. There will be stalls, as there have been the last couple of years. I have no doubt it will be the same sort of stalls. There'll be merchandising, T-shirts, artwork, comics, books, graphic novels, all sorts of things like that. Artwork of different kinds and stuff like that. There is also remember that there is a gaming club based in cinema, which doing board games, Dungeons and Dragons, and other things of that ilk. Also, what else was the other thing I was going to say about that? One of the things that they will be doing there is a thing called horror roulette, in which basically what they're doing is they're opening a section of the festival up, so that if you have made a film or you know of a film that you think other people would like to see, that is available on Vimeo or YouTube, and is less than 15 minutes long, you can come along to the festival, give them the link to it, the URL to the film, and they will show it. So for that point, when you go into the screen for that, nobody knows what's going to be shown, basically.
No.
Until that point. Because
I think the only people that might is probably obviously Spencer and the team, just to make sure that it's going to be able to be shown.
But the thing is that people are going to come in on the first day and give them the URL then, so they won't know what it is.
No, it's a very good idea
thing. So there's going to be all sorts of anything going on there. So it could be worth a look. Definitely.
Yeah, even if it's just for that, just to see all the different things that people have seen or found or want to show, it's going to be amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always a good thing anyway. It's kind of like it's becoming bigger and better every year. Not that it's ever been bad, but it's definitely one that people are starting to look at and starting to take notice of. So it's definitely worth going along, checking out.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else? I don't think there was anything else.
No.
Apart from the usual shout out for the Michigan Horror Museum.
Let's say the Michigan man, and I don't know why.
If anybody's out there near Michigan and you want to go and check it out, go and have a look online. I'm sure.
Or even if you're not near Michigan and just want to go out somewhere.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know that might be a bit of a travel for a lot of people that listen to this, but
all sorts of things going on there. They're going to have their own wrestling matches going on there as well at one point. So
yeah,
they're going to have a tattoo convention. You got the horror museum. They've got special guests of some wrestlers, and then Kane Hodder's going to be there or signing autographs and things.
Yeah, they're having and putting into place, and from what Nate's put up and to tell people, there is a lot coming in the next year. That keep your eyes out for it, and we will tell you as well. It is an amazing thing that he's doing.
Absolutely. I wish him all the best and all good luck with it. Okay, so we will see you again soon. Thank you very much, Scott, for being part of the show as always.
I'm glad that I can do it.
Yes. Until next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
The Sciforror Film Podcast.